Hey everybody, it's Amy. So sorry about last week. Yeah, I had a pretty bad fever when last Thursday. So I was going to go teach one of my group lessons, and I was usually I would make like a ham and cheese sandwich for breakfast. And I was like opening the ham, and I noticed, I said, well, I'm a little bit weak. So it's kind of early for me when I go do that lesson anyways, so I have to wake up a little bit early. So I thought maybe I'm just sleepy. So, but then when I noticed I was opening the ham, and why is it so difficult to open this ham? It's never difficult. So I decided I felt fine. My nose was fine, my throat was fine, everything was fine, but just a little weak, and I was sleepy. Hey, Kanchan, good to see you today. Um, so I decided to take my temperature. So I took my temperature, and it said 37.5. So I texted my student super quick, and hi Kazumi, and I said, I'm so sorry, cancel, 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 because I had that, of course, because of Corona, we have to, if it gets to that 37.5, that's kind of the breaking point. So I said, no, cancel, please. I'm so sorry. I got to cancel. And thankfully, my student saw that, and she's like, okay, please take care. And I said, okay, thank you. So yeah, I ate my sandwich and I drank my coffee, and I kind of went back to sleep because I wasn't feeling well. So later on, I woke up, and I took my temperature again. It had gone up. So the highest my fever went that day was 38.6. So I was watching it go up and up and up. I'm like, I hope it doesn't keep going up, because then, and of course, this was a Thursday, so, and I don't know. I don't really know how to call an ambulance. I guess I can in a pinch. My husband was at work, and I was just by myself, and what can I do? So, and I couldn't just go to my local hospital, because my local hospital is not equipped to accept, COVID patients. So they would just refuse if I tried to go there with a fever. So I said, well, let me just relax and rest, and we'll see what happens. I took some, my husband's so sweet. He brought me home some ibuprofen to help reduce the fever. So that night, my fever did go down, not all the way, but it did go down to like, it was still like 37 point something, but it had gone down from 38, which was a little scary. Um, yeah, and just as the day progressed, I was just feeling worse and worse, and I'm just like, oh, I'm really sick. This is terrible. Thankfully, we have kind of emergency food. So I had some like yakisoba for for lunch, but good sick food. Yeah, my appetite was fine. I could smell and taste everything. Everything was fine, just the fever. And also the tops of my breasts were really sore. So describing the word sore is difficult, because it's kind of like onomatopoeia, but in English we don't have them, but we have these describing words that are like onomatopoeia in Japanese. So, for example, if a bee comes and stings you, then oh, my hand stings. So it's kind of this word that's how can I say? It's like a word that it describes an action. and then the feeling is the result of the action. So for example, if you go and you work out really hard, your muscles the next day will be sore. So that was the kind of feeling that I had in my chest, was that they were sore. And sorry, it's probably too much information, but when it's about ladies' time, then usually maybe 3 or 4 days that will happen. So I checked my calendar and I said, oh no, it's too early for that. So I didn't know if that was part of the problem. So on Friday, my fever kind of came back a little bit. I never passed that 37.5 again, but yeah, it would always like kind of creep up a little bit. So creep up, not go up so quickly, but just a little. And so I was checking my temperature, not constantly, but quite often. So what I did is I just canceled my lessons. And so I'm so sorry to everybody whose lesson got canceled. It's difficult because I'm at this point in my life where I feel if I don't listen to my body, I'm going to cause myself more trouble. So it's really frustrating. And as the days progressed, like on Saturday, I was irritated. I wanted to work. I'm like, I want to work, but I can't because maybe I have something wrong with me. So then I noticed that, so that was on Friday. So then on Saturday, I noticed that the color was a little bit different in the front. And yeah, so, and the texture was, so the feel was a little bit different. Also, the lymph nodes. So lymph nodes, we have them here and in our armpits and in the groin area. So those ones. My left one in the armpit was swollen. So I thought, oh, maybe I have some infection, because I think most people know that I have rheumachi. So I have rheumatoid arthritis, or maybe, I don't know, but I'm being treated for it. So yeah, so I wasn't sure what was happening, but I've never had kind of breast issues. So of course, being a woman, I can guarantee you every woman is afraid of breast cancer. So I'm thinking, well, maybe it's something else. Maybe it's that, I don't know. So because I had a fever, there's in Totsuka, I live kind of near, my ward borders on with Totsuka, and in Totsuka they have a specialist clinic just for breast examinations and everything. So I thought, oh, that would be really good to go to. But unfortunately, because I had a fever, they will refuse to see me for 2 weeks. So after 2 weeks, I have a fever, then they'll see me. So I'm thinking, if it ends up being cancer, I don't want to wait at all. I want to wait as little as possible. So what I did on Monday, so I worked on Sunday because the fever didn't go up. So I worked on Sunday. And then on Monday, I went to my local clinic here, which I love them. And I like just kind of popped my head in. I said, I had a fever on Thursday. Today I said only Thursday. I'm fine today. They checked my temperature. They said, okay, you can come in. They put me into a different room and kind of gave me an examination. And the doctor said, she says, this isn't my area of expertise. That's the one I was going to put on. That's right. I forgot I was going to do more of these. Anyways, so she says, this is not my area of expertise. This is not my senmon, right? So she said, but I'll send you to Shinzen hospital that's very close to me as well. So I said, okay, great. And they looked at the schedule, and only on Fridays do they have the person who is trained in kind of, breast examinations. So I said, okay, that's fine, because if there's nothing else I can do, I have to accept it. But if it's just this, policy, I understand about everybody is very worried about COVID. I'm very worried about COVID. This is not COVID. This might be cancer, and I don't want to, how can I say? I don't want to delay treatment if that's the case, because there are slow growing cancers, but there are also very aggressive cancers. So I just, it's something I don't want to play with. So I went today, and I saw the doctor, and he was pretty optimistic. So I said, look, you can see the difference in color, and this was swollen over here. So, and he says, okay, yeah, so I'm noticing, this. So he says, when he asked me if I had a mammogram before, and I've had one. So I went to, no, that's not what I wanted to say. So he said, how long ago was that? I don't remember if it's been 2 or 3 years, but it's definitely been 2 years. So I said, it's been 2 years. So he said, okay, we'll get you back in for a mammogram and for, he said an echo. So I think it's like a ultrasound for breast examination. So I'm very happy with that. That's going to be next Wednesday, and then next Friday I'll have the results for you guys. So I'm sure it's probably nothing. And even if it's the worst case scenario and it is cancer, I'm very confident that it's been caught quickly enough to where I can continue to live and work and be healthy. So that's my health update. Ugh, what a pain. But so thank you guys so much for your patience with me this past week. So sorry, I've really wanted to get to work, and Oh, also my family doctor, she gave me a round of antibiotics. So it was like 4 days of antibiotics, and it's worked pretty well. So it's still a little uncomfortable on the left side, but it's so much better than it was. I went to acupuncture yesterday, and when I laid face down, I was like, it's not comfortable, but it's okay. So yeah, it was, what a crazy adventure. But hopefully it's nothing. Hopefully it was just some bizarre infection for maybe Dumachi reasons. Anyways, God, I have so much news for you guys. So, a lot of you know already, but so I was supposed to get my first injection of the new coronavirus vaccine. I was supposed to get it this Sunday, in just the day after tomorrow, but unfortunately, the situation. What happened was, apparently the health ministry told that clinic in Ikebukuro that 1, they're not going to have enough vaccines for everyone, and 2, you can't give vaccines without a voucher number. So I received an email saying that if we didn't, so anyone who made a reservation without a voucher number, the appointment has automatically been canceled. Automatically. So that was going to be this Sunday. And oh, look what I just got in the mail today. The vouchers. I would have had them. Oh, it's okay because now I have the vouchers. One for me, one for my husband. Super excited. So I've got the numbers and everything. So I was so close. I was so close to getting my vaccine. It's okay because I'll figure it out. So if you guys know any place that's giving vaccines, we are ready. I need to call the family doctor and find out if they're going to be getting any vaccines. I also need to ask the hospital. I forgot again today. My memory is terrible. So that's that. What other crazy news? Oh my God, this week. This week has been like busy, but not busy. I don't like it. Okay, so vaccine, boob stuff. There was one other thing. I can't think of it. Hang on. I'm going to take a drink of water and I'll see if I can think about it. I don't remember. Nah, I can't remember. Oh, I do have some more news though. It was my birthday. I had my birthday on Tuesday. My birthday was on Tuesday. Yay! So now I'm older. Maybe wiser. And so many people sent me birthday wishes. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Make me feel really loved. Yes. I love you guys. So yeah. All right, let's get started on our topics today, okay? Yeah, it's not complete, but there's enough stuff to talk about. We'll catch the other stuff on the next one. All right, and of course, before we get started, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments, or you can email me at info@amysenglishlab.com. Or DM me. It's fine. I'm easy, very, very flexible. Okay, so let's get started. So we have kind of a really bright dun. It's a bright, oh darn it. This is a star and my face is covering the star. Aw, boo. Oh well. Okay. So yeah, I tried it's really bright today, but that's okay because I need energy and this kind of gives me some energy. Okay, starting off with makes sense, or when something makes sense, or if something, I can't think. So that makes sense, right? So that makes sense. Oh, it makes sense that something, right? Makes sense. So we have oh, hang on. I can show you my my birthday. Yay! My husband. Yeah, we went to Outback Steakhouse. It was delicious. Oh my, the beef was perfect. I really hope that they are okay with Corona because it was pretty empty when we went, but it was a Tuesday, so. But oh, so delicious. We both had steak, of course, and 2 potatoes, and I had a salad, but it was so good. Yeah, super yummy. And of course they give me free ice cream because they're so nice. Well, it's part of their thing. Anything else? No, I think that's it. Oh yeah, I do want to show you guys something. Okay, oh yeah. So hang on. I'm going to do... Hang on. Stop sharing. Okay. Remember how I was freaking out about milk and how everything was like, it's fake milk, it's processed milk? There is a very easy way for you to, and me, especially me, to find out just by looking really quickly whether it's real pure milk or if it's processed milk. Do you know? My friend Terumi sent it to me and I'm so grateful. I will show you and you will notice it now and forever. Never mind, my face is on it. Oh my God. Why? Never mind, here, it's me. Hello, that's what it is. Oh my God, seriously? Seriously? Okay, hang on, because I bought some. I'll be right back. It's ridiculous. What is even happening? Okay, so you see this little boop right there? That means it is real milk. So I bought this one. It's super cheap, not even expensive. I'm going to have some actually because I like milk and I need some milk. Milk. Ooh, that's almost going to finish that one too. Milk is delicious. No coffee in this one. I'll be good, sort of. Oh, now there's no space. Do Japanese people talk about the little white that comes on here? So in the US, we call it a milk mustache. So it's a mustache made of milk. And children really love getting milk mustache, especially, I think maybe especially boys, because they're like, yeah, I'm a man, I got a mustache. It's like, okay, yeah, sure you do. Milk, it's delicious. Okay. My face covered up the dang thing, so silly. All right. Okay, let's see here. So make sense. So we were talking about make sense. Okay, let's go back to this. And I have an example sentence. Make sense. Okay, so it makes sense that AstraZeneca vaccines are being widely used in the UK since it's a British company. So that makes sense. So it's very logical. It's like, oh, that's why. Okay, yeah, of course. All right, moving on. Get it? Because I'm drinking milk. Moving on. Don't mind me. I don't even know. Okay, so awesome. Okay, so awesome is really like yabai. Because before it had kind of like this not negative meaning, but not negative, but a much bigger meaning. So it was much bigger, like yabai, like wow, oh my goodness, it's so big, like I can't believe it. Same thing with awesome. Okay, so awesome used to mean just things that are sometimes shocking, but just very impactful, strong emotions that you feel looking at some scene. Okay, and now I think it's kind of my generation that took this word awesome and just made it into meaning cool, right? Or really cool or very cool. So it's awesome. Oh, that's awesome. It's kind of lost the meaning. So it's the same thing with yabai. So if you hear an older person talking about awesome, they're going to be saying more of the older way. But if it's somebody of my generation or younger, awesome is going to mean super cool. Yeah, same thing with yabai. I don't know which generation it was that changed yabai to mean just cool or oh my god. Yeah. So, but they're basically the same, I would say. All right, next. What is crust? What kind of things have crust? Can you think of any? Send them to me. So lonely. I'm gonna have more milk because it's really almost done. Okay, yeah, now it's finished. Finished with my milk. But don't worry, I have another one because I love milk. Okay, crust. Any guesses? No guesses. Nobody guessed. Oh, I'm so sad. All right. We have pizza crust, pie crust, bread crust. Crust is that hard outer layer. So it's hard outer layer. Blah, 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 blah. A hard outer layer. So for example, pizza crust, so you have a pizza and then the outside ring, that is the crust. The crust is also the bottom, but it's kind of technically the bottom, but when I think pizza crust, I think around the edge. Pie crust, same thing. So usually it's tricky. When we think about pie crust, if you have like an apple pie, oh, I love apple pie. So when you have apple pie, there is crust on the outside, but also it's got a layer of crust on top. So, but this is crust. If you go to the supermarket, you will find, oh, I don't know what they call it in Japan, but it's pie crust. So the sheets of pie crust. So you put it in the bottom, you pinch it around, you put the filling, and then you put the layer, or no, you don't pinch it yet. So you put the bottom crust, you put the, you notice I don't bake, I just eat, oops. So you put the bottom crust in, you put the filling, so you gotta put the apples and cinnamon and oh my god. And then finally you take and you put the top crust on and then you pinch it around to seal it. Yeah, then you like stab it with a fork a couple of times to let it breathe in the oven. Ah, pie. And what was the other one? Bread. Okay, so bread crust it's the hard outer layer. So when you have like shokupan, right? So it's this brown layer around the bread. Yeah. So it's the crust. All right. Next, talking about crust. All right. Okay. Why do fashion models walk down a runway? Why is it down? Okay. So this has to do with stage direction. Okay. So I don't know if I told you guys this, that was my major, was theater. So not acting, although now I kind of do a bit of acting, but I will show you. Okay. So where my shirt is upstage left. Then we have upstage right, stage left, center stage right, downstage left, downstage or downstage center, and downstage right. So you can see where it is compared to the audience. So the audience is also known as the house. So yeah, so when you have the lights come on in the audience, that's the house lights. So house lights up, house lights down. But yeah, so what happens in a fashion show, okay, so now that you have this down stage, right, remember that. So what we have is so usually when you see a runway show, there's two models, right? There's one going this way and then the other one coming back. But the main part of the fashion model's, not her job, but that's where her show is, where she's really working, is going this way, towards down, so going down stage. After she turns, it's basically we've moved on to the next person. So I don't want to say girl because there's male models and of course girls and women and it's yeah. So you have the first model comes and actually the first model comes and she does her little pose and then she's going back and then the next model is coming. So when we have this, so she's walking down stage. Pose, and then it's next. But when she's walking up stage, or when they're walking up stage, they're finished. Yeah, you can look at the back of the clothes. It's a good 3D view, but the main purpose is really when you get down stage, you pose, and then you come back. So it's that the first walk, so you can really see how the clothes move and how or don't move sometimes and how they fit and just the style of it and everything like that. So, yeah. Fashion. So, all right, next. Okay. Put down a deposit. What does this mean? This means a deposit is money, usually money, that you give to someone either temporarily or permanently. So to secure something. It's to secure something. So for example, something that before we received these, something I was looking at was putting down a deposit for the coronavirus vaccine. It would be a refundable deposit. We'll talk about that more in a minute. So I would give them 10,000 yen temporarily. So basically what would happen is I give them 10,000 yen. They give me the first shot. I come back for the second shot. I give them the voucher. They give me back my 10,000 yen. So it's just kind of their insurance to make sure I don't receive the vaccine and leave. So it's a deposit. When you rent an apartment, you also have a deposit. It's usually in spirit. It's usually refundable. So for example, if you leave your apartment in absolutely perfect condition, there's no holes and everything is beautiful, you will probably receive your deposit back. However, if you drill holes into the wall and the flooring is messed up and you've painted or caused some sort of damage to the apartment, then the property owner will keep your deposit and put it towards the fixing of what you've done. Yeah. So deposits. Let's see. So we have, so again, we have two types. Refundable, that means you can receive it back. And another one, the other one is non-refundable. So this means that you no matter what, you will not receive it back. For example, if you do traveling, right? Well, not right now, but yeah. So if you travel, you can usually get a really good bargain, but the ticket is usually a non-refundable ticket. That's where the risk comes in for you, the consumer. Because assuming everything is okay, everything will be okay. But if you get sick, if you break your leg and you're supposed to go skiing, they don't care. It's non-refundable. Sorry. Yeah. So non-refundable versus refundable. Let's see. Here's a question. What are some nicknames for McDonald's? What are some nicknames for McDonald's? So yeah, they're I was doing a little bit of research because I wanted to make sure that I had the correct information. Of course, I know the American ones, but I was trying to see if there were other American ones that maybe I didn't know. Or I was thinking about kind of Australian ones, and I think it's this, so I wanted to double check. So it was very interesting what I found. So hopefully my face doesn't go over it. Okay, good. So in the US, we have two main nicknames for McDonald's. We have the Golden Arches or Mickey D's. So the Golden Arches, because an arch is this. So when we have 1, 2, and they're yellow, so the Golden Arches, yes. In the UK, they call it either Mackies or Mackie D's, and in Australia, they call it Maccas, yes. I'm sure I can't say it correctly because I don't have the A sounds that they do in England and Australia. But yeah, if somebody tells you, hey, let's meet at the Golden Arches, now you know. All right, next. Let's see. Okay. Here's a very tricky one. What do you say to someone when they say, do you mind? Or do you mind, would you mind, any of these? Okay, so, or could I? It's so many like traps, like English traps. So I will tell you 100% guaranteed way to beautiful. You can reply very easily and quickly with this. So do you mind? Oh my goodness. Do you mind? Would you mind? Same thing. All right. Because I noticed that my example was would you. Okay, let's see. So we have 3 positives. So we can say yes, right? So not at all. Certainly. Go right ahead. Okay. So do you mind? Would you mind? Not at all. This is really counterintuitive. Counterintuitive means that it feels wrong when we first think about it. It feels incorrect. Are you sure this is the right way? Yes, it is. Trust me. So would you mind if I sat here? Not at all. Wait, so you don't want me to sit here? So don't worry. We'll talk about this in just a second. So 3 positives, not at all. Certainly. Go right ahead. Okay. Or a couple of negatives, because sometimes, we don't want to sit next to someone, okay? Or maybe we're saving it for saving the seat for somebody. So we can just say sorry, or sorry, but, and then why not? So sorry, but my husband is sitting here. He just went to the bathroom, yeah. Okay? Hey, Nobuko's here, hey! I missed you, girl. All right, okay, so yes. So we're talking about how to respond to do you mind? Let's see. Okay, so here is my 100% success tip. Yes. Because you know why? Because native speakers also have this problem. So I absolutely know how to do this so that you will never have a problem again with this, okay? Sounds so marketing. Sure, yeah. So Kazumi asked how about sure? So would you mind? Sure. So you do mind? It's still a little confusing. So to eliminate any confusion and to speak so perfectly clearly everybody will understand, has nothing to do with pronunciation, nothing like that. So no matter if the answer is yes or no, follow up with the context, okay? So, for example, if someone says, would you mind if I sat here? You say, sure, go ahead. Sure, go ahead. So you're saying, yes, go, please, yes. So yeah, so Kazumi, you're almost right. So sure, go ahead. So it's kind of a double positive, just so there's no confusion. Let's see. So for example here, would you mind if I sit here? Or sat here? Would you mind if I sat here, sit here? I don't know. Spoken English, we don't really care. Not at all. Please take a seat. Or British, please have a seat. But we like to say take a seat. Not at all. Please take a seat. you 100% understand, right? Because even if you make a mistake, because you think, well, I should say yes, right? Yes, you can sit here. It's a really easy mistake to make, and Native people do it all the time. So don't worry if you make the same mistake, okay? So if you say, would you mind if I sit here? Sure. Please take a seat. There you go. So would you mind if I sit here? Sure. I'm not sure whether they say yes or no. Would you mind if I sit here? Sure. Please take a seat. Oh, thanks. Okay. All right. So here's another example. Boop, 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 boop. Would you mind if I sit here? Certainly. Go ahead. So it's kind of this double positive, right? So this double positive is really makes for clear communication. All right. And then the last example for this one. So would you mind if I sit here? Sorry, I'd rather you didn't. Sorry, I'd rather you didn't. You can also say, sorry, please don't. If you're really not confident and somebody, oh, you surprised me and you're speaking English at me, stop. But yeah, so sorry, please don't. That's fine too. Sorry, please don't. Or sorry, no. Sorry, no. Double negative. Okay, so you have positive, positive, or negative, negative, and it's very clear. Okay? All right, let's move on. Okay, referral. This is kind of a TOEIC word. What is a referral? Another question. What word do you see inside this word? Do you see the word refer? You should. Refer. So please refer to page blah, 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 right? So refer, go to, look at, kind of proceed. So a referral, so for example, my family doctor gave me a referral to the hospital. Okay, so I couldn't really just go to the hospital. Hi, please look at my boob. Yeah, awkward. So, so I went to the doctor. I went to my family doctor, and I said, "Hey, please take a look. And do I have an infection? What's going on?" And so the doctor gave me a referral to the hospital, saying, "Yes, you should be seen by another doctor whose specialty is breast health." So yeah. So she referred me to the hospital. She gave me a referral. So the referral was an envelope and another piece of paper. So to give some communication from doctor to doctor. All right, next. Catch up to. Catch up to, or the example that I used was caught up to. So catch, caught, right? So catch up to. What does this mean? Anyone? So to catch up to, boop, boop. Okay, so for example, I left the house 5 minutes before my husband, but he caught up to me at the bus stop. So that means that both he and I left, not at the same time. So I left the house 5 minutes early. He left the house 5 minutes after I did, but he caught up with me. He caught up to me, caught up with me. With to either way is okay. So once more, I left the house 5 minutes before my husband, but he caught up to me at the bus stop. He's pretty tall, so he doesn't have a problem catching up with me. Sometimes we'll do this when we're running a little bit late, And it's never 5 minutes, but I'll leave like 2 minutes before. I'll be like, okay, I'm going. He's like, okay, I'll catch up. So he'll say, okay, I'll catch up. So I'll catch up with you, right? So he doesn't have to say with you because it's understood. All right, so to catch up with someone. We can also use this in terms of learning and study. So, for example, if you have a friend whose English is so good and you feel like, I'll never be able to catch up with them. Yes, you can. You can do it. But that's another example, okay? I missed this last week. I really did. Oh my God! Okay, I'm sure you've seen this before. OMG. OMG. What does it mean, right? It means, oh my God. But I'm sure you've heard other ways for this to be said, right? For example, have you ever heard it as, oh my gosh, or oh my goodness? They're all OMG, right? Why do we have different ways to say this? Why do we have different ways? Any ideas? So, okay, so wait, first of all, I'll stop sharing this. I am not Christian. I don't dislike Christians, I'm just not Christian. So I'm more kind of agnostic. I feel that maybe there's a God, maybe not. I don't know. So, but I do not disrespect anybody's religion. It's a very personal thing for people, and yeah, it's someone's religion is not my business. But I know that there are quite a few Christian people in the U.S. It's probably the biggest religion in the U.S. So Christians, Catholics, all that. They all have the same basic beliefs. So one of the rules for Christianity is you cannot, I think for Judaism too, for Jewish people, okay? So Judaism, Jewish people, Christians, Christian people. So for them, I believe I think for Jewish people too, but definitely for Christians, you should not say God unless you are praying to God. If you are not praying to God, you shouldn't say his name casually. Okay? So I've even seen Jewish people, when they're typing and they want to say the word God, they put capital G dash D. So they won't even type the word because they feel it's offensive to God. So that's fine. I'm fine with respecting that. That's not a problem. So living in Japan, it's very flexible because most people don't really know why that is. So I'm kind of freer to say, oh my God. I don't have to think about it or self-censor. So, but if I know someone is Christian, I will self-censor because I think it's just more respectful to other people's beliefs. So yeah, that's just it. Anyways, so something that I was told when I was a kid by one of my schoolmates that was Christian, and they told him this. He told me, he said, you shouldn't use the Lord's name in vain. So the Lord is God, right? So he's not saying the word God. So this is why he's safe, right? So, and did you notice the L is capitalized? So it's really important for respecting for respecting God to put big letters. To not use someone's name in vain means unless you're praying to them, please God, watch over my family. You can't just say God, right? That's saying it in vain. So in vain kind of means without purpose, right? So if you're just using it for earth stuff, don't do it. But if you're trying to speak to God, that's fine. So yeah, little Christian education there. Okay, so bad words are softened for Christian people or for use around children because we don't want to set a bad example for children. We don't want them to say bad words. This is what we call them. So we call them bad words, but yeah, there's a whole thing about bad words. So here's some other softened bad words. So we have gosh darn it or darn it, fudge, shoot, and witch. So you can probably, I don't know, maybe you can guess, maybe you can't. Let me know if you have difficulty deciphering what these are the softened words. So I'm curious, do you know what the real bad word is that go with these? So gosh darn it, fudge, shoot, and witch. Kind of a quiz for you guys. Maybe I'll circle back to it next week. All right. Next. Speaking of bad words, let's talk about air quotes. Air quotes really frustrate so many people, and yeah, they're a little bit crazy, aren't they? So air quotes are very often used to show either sarcasm or a new name for something. So, for example, thinking of like the coronavirus, there's before it was the Indian strain of coronavirus. Now we're calling it the Delta variant. So see how I use the air quotes? So it's the Delta variant. It's not sarcasm, not that one. But now we're moving away from calling it the Indian one to calling it the Delta one. So now that it's new information, using this kind of shows you, wait, was that some new information? I need to catch that a little bit more clearly? Okay. So yes, that's air quotes. All right. Okay, last slide. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's talk about parts of the month. Okay, so for example, today is July 9th. We are still in early July. So we're in early July or the beginning of July. Then probably next week we'll be in mid-July. And did you notice here? So we have early and late, no dash, but mid is dash. And the reason for that is because we're not using the full word. Because the full word would either be middle or midst. So midst is not a common word, but middle is. But what we do is we just say mid-July. Okay? And then in 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, it'll be late July or the end of July. Actually, because July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd were like in 1 week, I would say that would be the beginning of July. And then early July is still like the 1st and 2nd week. All right. So yeah, so that is that. Oh, I did an hour. Yay. All right. So yeah, I think that's going to be it for today. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We didn't get much of a crowd this week, but probably you guys are angry with me for being sick. I'm sorry. But I hope to gather more people, and I'm really trying to get 100 subscribers on YouTube. So please, please, please subscribe on YouTube. I'm still thinking seriously about doing the move over. I did an intro. I made an intro for YouTube. So yeah, we'll see what happens. One of my students mentioned that she would like kind of shorter live broadcasts, but at the same time, I'm thinking that if you want a shorter broadcast, you can always pause it. And when you leave and come back, YouTube should remember where you left off. If not, then what I recommend is creating an account on YouTube, because then it will remember for you. Yeah. So please subscribe, like, give me hearts. I love your hearts. They fill me. They fill my heart. Yeah, thanks again to everybody for the birthday well wishes. Thank you. And next week I will update you on immunizations and boobies. Yeah. But for today, I think that's going to do it, unless anybody has any questions. But yeah, so exciting. I don't know what to do. I'm still like, everything is jumbled in my head. All right. Thank you so much for coming today. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Thank you so much. Bye.